Hey Pisces, welcome to your weekly forecast for March 28th through April 3rd. We do have a new moon in Aries coming up April 1st. New lunar year, new moon. It's a great time for a clean slate and new beginnings. We're going to connect and see what messages are coming up for Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. Now, I am setting the intention for the time frame I mentioned, but you might stumble upon this after that time frame, and that's just fine. You're going to find it whenever you are meant to find it. Keep in mind, these are general readings. Not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does, leave what doesn't. First card coming up is the Chariot. So this is a major arcana card. A lot of you have heard me say that the major arcana cards are going to come up anytime that we're coming into a new chapter in our life. This is a significant new chapter. This is a defining moment. This is significant change. This is a significant period that you're coming into. Now, the Chariot card has a few different meanings. I know a lot of you are used to watching tarot for love and romance, so anytime you see a major arcana or anytime you see a court card, you're like, oh, this person is coming my way. There's a Cancer coming my way. That could be the case for some of you, don't get me wrong, but in this channel, I like to focus on you and your journey in the weekly forecasts. I do love separately. I want this to be about you, okay? I'm not anti-love. I just want this to be about you. If you have a Cancer placement, there could be a big change or a big shift happening for you in those houses or in those areas of your life. The Chariot, it can also be a card in which we're finally making a decision what direction we want to go in. There's an element of travel with this card. Some of you may be coming into a time of travel. Some of you may be manifesting transportation. There's elements of transportation with the Chariot card. But a lot of you have heard me say the Chariot card always makes me think of the quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson when he said, once we make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. This is very powerful because you are coming up on a new moon, a powerful new moon at that. You are a Pisces. You're really tapped into moon energy. And it's a new moon, and we're talking about decisions and things, universe conspiring to help us make things happen. This is a powerful time. Very powerful time for Pisces. Now, I see the Chariot card come up in readings a lot of the times when somebody's feeling stuck and they're like, give me a sign, God. Give me a sign, universe. Give me a sign, angels. Open the door that you want me to go through. And you feel like your life is stuck and stagnant and you just want that sign. You just want that door to pop open. Well, guess what? The Chariot for me in my readings can come up to say that in this situation, this is a situation in which you have to learn to exercise your free will. There are times in which our angels and guides are given permission to come in with divine intervention and to switch things up and redirect us. But Pisces, according to this, for the majority of you, because it is a general reading, for the majority of you, this is not one of those times. This is a time that you have to decide. Your angels cannot choose the door for you. You have to say, this is the door I want. And then your angels will help you with that door. So there's a lesson here for you in exercising your free will and making a decision. Now, when the tarot was first put together, one of the key words for the Chariot card was Sanctuary City. Today, Sanctuary City has a little bit of a different meaning. It's associated with immigration. But back in the day, Sanctuary Cities existed when maybe somebody got in trouble with the law. Or maybe they got in over their head with debts and they couldn't repay them. Or whatever the case was, they were in some kind of a trouble. There were certain cities that if you could get to that city before anybody caught you, they had to leave you alone. They couldn't go into the city looking for you. The court systems couldn't go and extradite you. Like, that was it. It was like safe. Like when you're a kid and you're playing tag, that was a safe zone. They couldn't come get you. And after a certain period of time, I think it was like 2 years or something, as long as you were a good citizen while you were in that city, you could stay in that city permanently. You could go back to your home city or anywhere else, and they had to let you go. They couldn't come after you. And so there was a sense of a fresh start. How appropriate is that when we're coming into this new moon at the beginning of the lunar year and this fresh start energy? Some of you, Pisces, maybe are moving to get a fresh start or to start over. And you're just like, I'm going in with this clean slate. I'm not taking the past in with me. I'm not taking the old energies. I'm going to operate from healthier ways, healthier thinking, healthier processes, and I'm not going to do things in the old way anymore. But for some of you, there could be where you're moving and getting a fresh start. It's like doing a do-over. All of these stars are also really jumping out at me. And so stars are intuition, following your intuition, following your guidance. Your connection that you're seeking to spirituality lies within you. Going within for the answers. The answers are inside of you. Okay? And they're leading you towards what you're seeing. Like your eyes are opening up and you're seeing the path. The next card coming up here for Pisces is the Ace of Wands. And this is passion. This is passion. This is fire. This is excitement. This could be you really tapping into the fiery Aries vibes and the fiery Aries energy. Ace of Wands is also a card that can come up when there's been a new opportunity that's been put in front of us. Spirit, universe, angels, guides, whatever you want to call it, has presented you with a new opportunity. Now, you may be tempted to turn it down, and you might say, I've got my sights set on bigger things. This isn't exactly as, big as I had hoped, and it's kind of small potatoes, and I want to keep my eyes on, things that are more significant or more elaborate or whatever it might be. And Spirit is saying, don't judge this opportunity. It looks small, but once you gain a hold of it, once you go for it, it's going to grow and branch out and flower into bigger things and bigger opportunities. It seems small right now, but it's connecting you to something bigger, and this project or this offer is going to grow into something bigger. You may really kick yourself in the future if you don't go for the opportunity. Now, for some reason, Spirit is making me see like stories that I've heard, like the person that didn't invest in Apple computers. You bet that person's really kicking themselves. Or the person that had a chance to go in on Starbucks and they didn't. That person's kicking themselves. Or you hear stories of people that had an opportunity to join a band and they turned it down, or they got kicked out, and then the band made it really big, So it could be something like that, where later on you're going to kick yourself and you're going to say, I really wish I hadn't turned that down. Now, this isn't going to be like some fly-by-night thing. I'm not talking about one of those things where somebody's like, oh, pay a bunch of money and get a starter kit and then sell stuff to all your friends and family. I'm not talking about like a multi-level marketing thing where you're selling stuff, or a multi-level marketing thing where you're trying to get people to sign up for like investment opportunities or buying life insurance. I'm not talking about multi-level marketing stuff. I'm talking about other opportunities. For some of you, it could be taking part in a startup. Or something of that, of that magnitude, or like along those lines. Again, this is a general reading. Pray, meditate. Maybe you want to schedule a private reading. It's going to be different for different ones of you. But I feel like there's some opportunity that if you don't embrace it now, you're going to really kick yourself later, and you're going to wish that you had embraced it. Okay, maybe it's on a personal level, maybe it's a friendship, maybe it's a romantic opportunity. Maybe some of you are like looking at this person and you're like, they would be great, but there's just some things about them that I'm not feeling that they could really improve. And then you turn your head, and 3 months later that person has improved on all those very areas, and it's too late. They're off and they're with somebody else, right? So it could be something here where now is the time to get in. You don't want to lose the opportunity. The next card that's coming up here is the Princess of Pentacles, and this could be the Page of Pentacles, which we might hear it called Page of Pentacles in some other decks. This also came up for Aries. So Pisces, you guys are really picking up on those Aries vibes. You may have an Aries placement. If that is the case, I strongly suggest you watch the Aries video for this week, because this is a message that's really being emphasized. So the Princess of Pentacles can come up when we are getting smarter with how we're doing things. We're finding a smarter way to work instead of burning the candle at both ends or exhausting ourselves. And so this could be that you might be working, 2 or 3 jobs, and you're realizing, hey, this isn't sustainable. I can't do this forever. And so you're finding ways to cut expenses, or you're finding gifts or talents that you have, and you're putting those to use for yourself, and you're expanding upon that and creating something of your own. If you are self-employed or doing something in terms of self-employment or putting your work out there, you may be burning the candle at both ends. You may be really hustling and grinding, and this is not sustainable. Can you really live your life so exhausted, so pushing yourself so hard? So the Page of Pentacles comes up when we start to find solutions and more efficient and easier ways to work. We find ways to be more efficient with the money that we have. We're changing and evolving our relationship with money. Now, when this came up for Aries had a sense of like downsizing with it. So some of you might be downsizing or selling property. Some of you have already done all that. You're like, I'm already minimalist. I can't be any more minimalist than I currently am. And that might be the case. But the Page of Pentacles here is figuring out to do more with what you have. And for some of you, this could even be those of you who are doing something in terms of self-employment. You may be finding that you have other skills that you can bring into this that are actually something that you can enjoy. Or you may be doing the work in an easier way, or finding an easier way to do things. There's a sense of efficiency with the Princess of Pentacles or Page of Pentacles. The next card that's coming up for Pisces is the Ace of Swords. And this is very powerful. I love that this is coming up for you. Now, the Ace of Swords can be victory, overcoming challenges. It can be a victory in a situation. And the Ace of Swords is a card that comes up for me in my readings when there's a clearing happening in the crown chakra. You're coming out of limited thinking. You're coming out of limited beliefs. And you're finding, again, this is emphasizing the Page of Pentacles, you are coming out of limited thinking, and you're finding a more efficient way to do things. Where once you only saw problems, now you're seeing solutions. Some of you, you're mind blown because the very thing you thought was a problem is actually part of the solution. There's also a sense with the Ace of Swords of like communication, defining the way things are going to go, defining the way things are going to be, defining the terms and the conditions of an agreement or a situation. Some of you are becoming more effective communicators. And some of you are thinking a lot more clearly here with this Ace of Swords energy. Now, I've said this in the past. A lot of the times I've seen in my experience that when people are clearing in their crown chakra, they are also clearing in their third eye. So some of you are beginning to have your third eye opened up, and you're beginning to increase your intuition. Some of you may begin to flat out see the spirit world. Maybe that's going to freak you out. I know with me, I don't like to see spirit. And so I very early on set that boundary. I set that request and I said, you can talk to me. You can bring me messages, but I don't want to see you. Don't show yourself to me. You can make those requests. And over time, you might get over that stuff. Over time, you might feel, okay, all right, I'm not so weirded out by that anymore. And that can change. But if it's scaring you right now, you can set that boundary. You can say, hey, I want my intuition activated. I want to receive messages from spirit, but I don't really want to see it. You can make that request for those of you who are seeing and you don't want to see. I also feel something is happening for Pisces where you guys are having very, very vivid dreams that are actually like glimpses into the future. And so I feel like a lot of you are going to be receiving messages in your decision-making process, or spirit is giving you some kind of reassurance. Now, I don't know what this means, but you guys who watch my videos, you know that I have a rule that I have to follow. Spirit is my boss, and Spirit has told me that I'm not allowed to edit the message. If I see something, I have to pass it along, even if I don't get what it means. And Spirit will bring a lot of Bible stories up for me because that's something I'm familiar with, because I had the Bible drilled in my head when I was a kid. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. But Spirit is showing me the story in my children's Bible when Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, came to Joseph and told Joseph that Mary's pregnant, but you should marry her. Even though she's pregnant, you should marry her anyway. This is the child of God. This is, a miraculous conception, and, you need to marry her. And so he did, right? Because especially back in those days, that was scandalous. Somebody's pregnant and they're not married, and they're not gonna marry somebody who's pregnant with somebody else's child. And like back in those days, and the cultural elements, like, you would say it's a miracle. It's a miracle that somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna marry this lady and she's pregnant and it's not my kid, but I'm gonna marry her anyway. Like back then, that was like unheard of. But I'm seeing this sense, like, as I said, some of you are seeing dreams or glimpses into the future. Some of you may have this dream or a message come to you in a dream, or you may feel that Spirit is coming to you and saying, hey, you should go for this. You should go for this. And maybe it's not something that you would typically go for. Again, I'm not sure what it means. I really don't know what it means, but I have to, it's a general reading. I'm not tapping into one specific person. It's a general reading. And so for some of you, that might have some significance. Okay, so I'm just passing along the message. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign videos. Some weeks those might resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you click on the link in the description of the video, it will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite, and you can schedule a private reading with me there. Love readings are linked in the description. Don't forget, every single day I've been posting a daily card. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, my dears. Take care and be well.